It turns out that Blake Lively was caught on tape talking about how she manipulates people around her in order to take control of the movies upon which she works.
This is important to say, okay, I believe in this, and that's why I'm standing up for it, and that's why I'm not being difficult. And then there are other moments to go like, am I the in the room? Like, what is happening here? I would show up on a set. I knew that they just wanted me to show up and look cute and stand on a little pink sticker where I'm supposed to go and say what I'm supposed to say. But I also knew that like that wasn't fulfilling for me, that I wanted to be a part of the storytelling, that I wanted to be a part of the narrative, whether that be in the writing, in the costume design, in creating the character.
It's this hypocrisy of the fact that Blake was so offended by being called sexy. You know, how so you call me sexy, and all the things that Blake and Ryan are calling Justin thin-skinned over. And then you, like I said in the live, I'll say it again, this is far worse, in my opinion, than anything Blake's alleged against Justin.
And sometimes I had directors or producers or writers who would welcome that and invite that once they saw that I was able to offer that. And sometimes I would have people who really resented that because they were like, we just hired you to be an actor. Yet when I went in the meetings, I would just seem like I'm just there to be the actor and ready to get the gig. I wouldn't reveal that I actually need to have authorship in order to feel fulfilled. So I think that for them, sometimes that might have felt like a rug pull because you're like, you're trying to assert yourself into something that we didn't hire you to do. And so it was a really strange position to be in because I felt like, I don't want to just like be an actor. Like I want to have.
Blake stole the movie from him. Even Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively themselves, that all but confirms that, yes, Ryan used his nice pool character in Deadpool and Wolverine to mock Justin Baldoni.
I know some people like this movie. Some people.
Have you ever questioned what's really going on behind Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds' seemingly flawless Instagram life? Hollywood's so-called golden couple may look perfect, but that polished image is nothing more than a carefully engineered facade. Today, we're diving into the jaw-dropping revelations exposed by Ben Shapiro, claims that Blake and Ryan have allegedly showcased their children as tools to maintain their relevance. Their strategic moves to cling to fame while pushing others aside will leave you speechless. Everything you thought you knew about this celebrity duo? It's time to rethink it all.
Those that don't remember what we talked about previously, here it is. Here's the moment when Deadpool,
100 versions
people show up to
of
the
that
portals.
line. I'm going to pay for that later.
Blake Lively to our...
She really didn't. And I am...
Of it, guys, like, it's so weird. I'm just reacting to it again because I think it's important reporting on this multiple times. Elsrich and Kim, I want to get your thoughts because, as we were saying earlier in the live, Kim, please echo it again. There's so many reasons this is wrong. One, this girl's 7. It's her father. She didn't want to do it. And then she feels obligated because daddy wants her to do it. Oh, and daddy's going to have other kids do it. I'm going to miss out. Okay, daddy, I'll do it. And then she does it against her will. And then they make her do 400 alternatives. Kim, I'll start with you. Express again, why is this such a problem?
I think, and I want to be clear that it's like, I wasn't there. I don't know all of the context specifically, but it always concerns me when I see a situation where a child has voiced that they don't want to do something. And then there seems to be a chain of events that suggests that they have been manipulated or pressured into doing it. And that's always that sets off a lot of alarm bells in my head, because I believe that kids have the right to consent. I believe kids have the right to say no. And if kids are uncomfortable, that should be heard by the grown-ups that are there and respected. And I don't get that feeling that that's what happened here. I mean, I guess we'd have to ask her, but having the 70 to 500 versions and the subject matter, what we're talking about here, it all just doesn't feel right. And it's a bit...
We've all fallen for the act, the flawlessly timed Instagram jabs, the red carpet strolls filled with rehearsed laughter, the interviews where Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds seamlessly complete each other's thoughts. All forming what appears to be the ultimate Hollywood love story, but beneath the charm and viral couple moments is a deliberately crafted strategy that blurs the line between authenticity and performance. A closer look at their social media reveals a consistent pattern. When Deadpool was set to premiere, Blake suddenly posted endearing, shareable moments of their relationship, and when a simple favor required more attention, Ryan uploaded a seemingly spontaneous couple photo that instantly went viral, proving these aren't random acts of affection but meticulously timed marketing tactics designed to boost visibility. Their online presence, the playful trolling, self-deprecating jokes, and curated glimpses into their private world, isn't organic but engineered with intention to build and sustain the image of a relatable, lovable celebrity duo despite their combined net worth exceeding $180 million. This strategy is clearly profitable. Ryan's stake in Aviation Gin reportedly sold for up to $610 million, while Blake's brand endorsements and collaborations with major fashion and beverage companies earn her millions annually, turning their public relationship into a multimillion-dollar empire. Even their media appearances follow a formula. The same stories about awkward dates, Blake's cooking mishaps, or quirky parenting anecdotes are subtly retold with slight variations to maintain a consistent narrative that supports their brand identity. Industry insiders are fully aware, with one former publicist revealing that what Blake and Ryan have constructed goes beyond PR and borders on a corporate-level entity, while another source close to Hollywood's elite claimed even their intimate moments are staged for maximum media traction, leaving nothing to chance. The timing of their romance is also telling, blossoming right when Ryan needed a post-Green Lantern image revival and Blake was attempting to break away from her Gossip Girl legacy, leading to a swift marriage and children that aligned perfectly with their professional rebranding. In truth, Blake and Ryan aren't just a couple. They are the carefully curated face of a thriving commercial enterprise built on the illusion of transparency, with every post, public appearance, and interview feeding a cycle where their relationship fuels their fame inflates their market value, and their value solidifies their position as Hollywood's most beloved brand. Not just sharing their love story but expertly packaging and selling it to the world, and we've all been buying it.
Worse than Deadpool does.
And here we fucking hate Nice Bowl worse than Deadpool does. That was Ryan Reynolds himself.
He separated the two. I was like, that is literally evidence.
They also, then it would have connected right to the whole issues with Blake.
It was never part of the plan. He just came up with this on the fly, like, let's get this done.
So there's a ton of revelations in this commentary clip, but this was the most shocking. Aside from the Nice Pool revelations that sort of confirm his hatred of Nice Pool and everything else, this is the true shocker right here. So you didn't have to admit it. You didn't have to admit it, for one. You could have just kept that a secret, which I probably would have done, and let that come out if the kid wants to admit it later, right? Like, for one, you didn't have to admit it, but he gleefully is about...
The Lively Reynolds family brand isn't just picture perfect. It's perfectly orchestrated, extending far beyond cheeky red carpet exchanges or viral Instagram teasing, because when you look closely, a far more deliberate narrative starts to appear, one where Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds have transformed their children into calculated assets within a highly profitable publicity engine. On the surface, they project an image of fiercely protecting their children's privacy, often speaking passionately in interviews about shielding their family from public exposure, but their behavior tells a much more rehearsed story, one choreographed with strategic precision. Take Blake's fourth pregnancy reveal, for example. She unveiled her baby bump in a glittering gown at a major red carpet event just weeks before A Simple Favor was set to release, and to call that a coincidence would be naive, as this isn't the first time this pattern has played out. In 2016, her pregnancy conveniently overlapped with promotional efforts for The Shallows, resulting in glowing media coverage that simultaneously celebrated her maternal glow and promoted the film, generating millions in free press. Later, the announcement of their second child aligned seamlessly with the launch of the Deadpool campaign. Even their so-called dedication to privacy functions as a clever piece of their PR puzzle. By giving the impression of protecting their children while selectively sharing just enough curated glimpses, they sustain public fascination without risking overexposure. They reveal names only when it will generate peak media interest, and post family photos with blurred-out faces, offering the illusion of intimacy while still fueling their celebrity narrative. The manipulation extends well beyond digital platforms. In 2019, Blake's baby bump stole headlines during the Detective Pikachu premiere, effectively diverting attention from the film to her maternity look and their expanding family, resulting in amplified media coverage for both their personal and professional brands. Blake's entrepreneurial moves have also followed this strategy. Once she stepped into motherhood, her branding shifted, with her now-defunct lifestyle site Preserve beginning to focus more on parenting topics, and her current product lines like Betty Buzz and Blake Brown subtly built around her identity as a stylish, relatable working mom. Her interviews and marketing content consistently tie her maternal role into the branding, crafting a modern image of balance between career and family that resonates deeply with audiences. Even her film promotions are steeped in family-oriented messaging. While promoting the Rhythm section, she frequently referenced her children, all while continuing to claim she was keeping them out of the spotlight, a move that further humanizes her public image and strengthens her emotional connection with fans. Then there are those candid public appearances that feel anything but unplanned, like when Ryan received his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame and was joined by his entire camera-ready family, complete with perfectly dressed kids, just in time to kick off buzz for the Deadpool sequel. The photos exploded online, appearing on magazine covers and entertainment platforms around the world, not as a private moment but as a marketing masterpiece. According to insiders, this is no accident. A former publicist close to the couple revealed that they allegedly track key dates for family-related announcements on spreadsheets, timing each one to align with major career milestones in order to optimize coverage. Perhaps the most telling evidence lies in the rare paparazzi shots of the family out and about, where Blake is almost always seen in full glam and styled attire. Hardly the appearance of someone hoping to fly under the radar. These aren't spontaneous outings. They are deliberate media moments, staged for attention and executed flawlessly. What Blake and Ryan have built goes far beyond a family. They've constructed a branding empire, where every baby announcement, birthday post, and blurred family portrait serves as a calculated component in a larger, ever-evolving marketing machine. This isn't just about selling movies or products. It's about selling the fantasy of the flawless family unit. And the truth is, we've all been buying into it.
Exactly that to Justin Baldoni, apparently. Like that's literally the accusation as to what happened. So first of all, let me point out to Blake Lively, you are an actress. Unless you signed on as a producer or a director, there's literally no reason why your creative input should matter. You're an actor. If you want to write your own script, you should go write your own script. If you want to sign on to a movie with the understanding that you're going to actually make script changes, then great. But if the idea is that you sign on as an actor and then you turn around and try to take control of the script, this makes you a jerk.
Behind the shimmering allure of Hollywood's favorite couple lies something far more deliberate than most entertainment insiders ever dared to imagine, as political commentator Ben Shapiro, widely recognized for his sharp cultural critiques, has been steadily assembling a case against Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, unpacking the inner workings of their meticulously designed public persona. In his podcast series The Hollywood Illusion, Shapiro identifies the couple as prime examples of what he describes as celebrity psychological engineering, a phenomenon he claims goes beyond traditional fame and enters the realm of emotional manipulation crafted to bypass critical thinking and foster parasocial bonds that can be monetized at scale. Among Shapiro's most startling allegations is that Blake and Ryan allegedly operate with a response matrix, a highly advanced system that monitors public feedback to their jokes, family anecdotes, political stances, and personal stories, testing variations of content through smaller media platforms and social posts until they perfect the tone and language for mass appeal, meaning that by the time a polished anecdote appears on a late-night show or in a glossy magazine spread, it has already been strategically rehearsed and emotionally calibrated for maximum resonance. But Shapiro's critique dives even deeper, with one of his most damning accusations focusing on what he calls their political chameleon strategy, a pattern of aligning themselves with fashionable social causes, climate action, gender equity, racial justice, while simultaneously investing in or collaborating with corporations that actively undermine those same principles. One glaring contradiction he notes is their outspoken environmental advocacy, which stands in stark contrast to frequent private jet usage and business ties to companies with poor ecological reputations, labeling this behavior as performative activism where, in Shapiro's words, their progressive ideals only exist when the cameras are on. He also breaks down their media maneuvering tactics, highlighting what he terms a deflection blueprint used in interviews, where Ryan often leans on self-mocking humor to steer attention away from uncomfortable topics, while Blake resorts to heartfelt stories about motherhood to build an emotional shield that discourages further probing. To prove the depth of their media training, Shapiro aired side-by-side interview clips spanning over 5 years that showcase nearly identical word choices, emotional pacing, and storytelling arcs, arguing that these aren't spontaneous remarks but scripted responses deployed with near-military precision. Even more concerning is what Shapiro exposes about their influence over entertainment journalism, pointing out that no major media outlet ever challenges them with tough follow-ups, a silence he attributes to calculated access control by their team, who allegedly maintain selective relationships with key reporters, rewarding compliance with exclusives and sidelining those who push back. He even named several prominent journalists whose careers reportedly benefited from consistently favorable coverage of the couple. According to Shapiro's sources, their team leverages sophisticated algorithms to track and neutralize online criticism before it gains momentum, flagging dissenting voices, planting counternarratives, and preserving the illusion long before the public catches on. As Shapiro bluntly puts it, they're not merely reacting to the media cycle, they're controlling it, eliminating potential backlash at the source. And the entertainment industry's response to all of this? Utter silence, which, according to Shapiro, is no coincidence, as networks and publications depend on continued access to high-profile stars like Blake and Ryan, and challenging them too forcefully risks not only that relationship, but also the revenue tied to it.
Messages show they are showing we're supposed to be uninvited. These texts, I don't think that's the actual one. There's so many of them. But as we go through these text messages, I talked earlier, agree we just couldn't be in the same room with Blake because of the premiere, because of all these issues. It would be hard for me to sit and watch the final film for the first time at the premiere, just to cheer when we see our names come up. Yeah, I haven't seen it either. Crazy times. So neither Justin and Blue, or the editors who are on the film were able to see or get access to the film before it was released. Blake stole the movie from him. That this is now coming out through the text and through the lawsuit. Now, it doesn't mean that Justin didn't do bad things himself or uncomfortable things. I don't know. I'm still really torn on all this. But I will say, as I've now gone through all of the evidence that Justin's provided, it leaves me with a lot of questions. A lot of questions such as Blake Lively not wanting to meet with the intimacy coordinator that Justin set up for her. I'm good. I don't need it. There's a bunch of stuff about her blocking these scenes with him earlier. So much of what Justin's texts are revealing absolutely start to crack the narrative that Blake Lively has put out, at least her team has put out, to try to save face. And I got to say, it makes Blake, in my opinion, look 10 times. But I want to go over here to page 19, specifically in a text exchange pretty early on in the film process that really goes against the narrative and sort of story that Blake's sort of telling of how they are. I feel well played today. I feel the same. It's such a good feeling to get work done that we're proud of, to do this together. This is Blake Lively texting, and it just clicks when we find it. And this is just as rewarding as filming it or editing or marketing it or releasing it. This is all storytelling. This is why we do it. Thank you for your collaboration. I'm really proud of what we're doing. This is now during the harassment phase, mind you. This is her very grateful. Justin loves this. Thank you so much. It feels good. I like sentimental Blake, he says. Blake goes, never met her. I also like asshole Blake. Don't worry. Okay, good night. I've met her. Blake quickly responds. So have my suppositories. Good night. Laughed at so have my suppositories. Kim, you said this live, but I want you to read her again. Does this feel like somebody who's really delicate and afraid of having her director say that without the jacket, the outfit looks sexy, a term she has used?
Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. The real story behind It Ends With Us goes far deeper than the glossy surface ever suggested. What appeared to be a dream collaboration, Hollywood harmony at its finest, was in reality something far more complex and calculated. With a best-selling novel as the foundation, a rising director in Justin Baldoni, and a superstar actress-producer like Blake Lively attached, the project seemed destined for success. The official narrative sold it as a perfect partnership. Press releases were glowing, behind-the-scenes snapshots were full of smiles, and public statements emphasized mutual respect. But according to insiders, that polished front masked a power struggle so intense it makes Ben Shapiro's takedown of Hollywood seem like an opening act. While Baldoni was officially both director and leading man, Blake wasn't simply portraying Lily Bloom. She was methodically asserting control in what some now describe as one of the most calculated behind-the-scenes maneuvers in recent film history. At first, everything appeared smooth. Marketing materials celebrated their shared artistic vision, and social media featured friendly interactions. But tensions quickly began simmering beneath the surface. According to a production assistant who spoke under anonymity, Blake quietly began challenging Justin's authority almost immediately, waiting for him to step out of the room before pitching alternative ideas to producers, many of which resulted in script rewrites overnight without his involvement. As her influence as a producer expanded, so did her control over key decisions. Scheduling vital production meetings during times she knew Justin was unavailable, directing costume designers to follow her vision rather than his, and even pulling the cinematographer aside for private discussions to alter the visual direction that Justin had carefully crafted from the outset. However, it was during post-production that the power play escalated. Just as the editing process neared completion, anonymous allegations about Justin's on-set behavior began circulating in entertainment media. stories claiming he was controlling and difficult, particularly during the filming of intimate scenes. The timing of these leaks was uncanny, landing just before the press tour schedule was finalized, effectively limiting his public presence before it even began. Then came the marketing campaign, and with it, the erasure. Promotional material hardly featured Justin at all. Press photos prominently showcased Blake either alone or alongside other cast members, while interviews that should have featured both leads were strategically separated. It was the most calculated freeze-out I've ever seen, one marketing executive confessed. Blake's team maintained complete control over every outlet and narrative, ensuring she remained the sole face of the project. Publicly, Blake continued to speak about collaboration and creative alignment, but her behavior painted a different picture. She avoided joint interviews with Justin, celebrated the cast and crew on social media while noticeably excluding any mention of her co-star and director, and when directly questioned about working with him, offered short, non-committal responses before quickly changing the subject. The final blow came quietly, though it was anything but subtle. Multiple directors, producers, and industry insiders began receiving private warnings about Justin. These weren't framed as gossip, but as professional courtesy, said a casting director who received one such message, though the repetition of talking points made the intent unmistakable, a coordinated character takedown labeling him as difficult, controlling, and hard to work with. Yet, those who worked closely with Justin offered a completely different account. One of a director who was respectful, collaborative, and entirely unaware of the silent campaign against him. What was once touted as a passion project turned into an internal battlefield, and in the end, only one person was allowed to walk away with their image untarnished. And that person wasn't Justin.
100% echo what Kim is saying. And to me, and I text Andy earlier, I don't know if you got a chance to see, the fact that people were trying to make this better by saying, well, the line wasn't so bad because it was actually meant for Walker Scobell, I don't know how to say his name exactly, who was a boy and still would have been 14 at the time of filming. I'm like, at what point do you guys think 14 equals adult? That's still a child. And the reason behind him not playing it is even more jarring. I don't know if you got a chance to see, but they didn't let Walker Scobell be Kid Pool because according to the director, Sean Levy, he grew up too much, which his definition of grew up was his voice got deep and he got tall. That is still currently a 16-year-old boy at the time of filming 14 years old. So who is your target audience that you feel like a 14-year-old boy in a mask cannot utter these lines, but somehow, well, the alternative light bulb is my 7-year-old child. Like, how do you get there? I can't comprehend. And again, maybe it's because I'm a parent or I'm a woman or I'm a mom, but like, the math, this is what the kids say when they say the math does not math. Make it make sense to me how you go from a 14-year-old is too old and can't be kid pool. Well, let him be teen pool. I don't care. But a 7-year-old saying this, I'm sick.
The Silent Empire, how Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds quietly seized control of Hollywood, begins far beyond the headlines of a single smear campaign against Justin Baldoni, because while Blake handled the public-facing maneuvering, Ryan Reynolds activated something far more insidious, a powerful and discreet network of Hollywood insiders who allegedly owe him favors, allowing him to operate from the shadows and maintain his affable public persona while, behind the scenes, strategically dismantling careers. Ryan's influence, cultivated carefully over years, runs far deeper than most realize. Through his production company, Maximum Effort, he has forged tight personal relationships with studio executives across every major entertainment company. Not just professional ties, but personal ones, attending their children's birthday parties, sending them custom gifts, and ensuring that when he asks for a favor, it gets delivered without hesitation. According to a former Maximum Effort employee, this web of influence quickly became Justin Baldoni's worst nightmare. Within weeks of the fallout from It Ends With Us, 3 of Baldoni's developing projects suddenly lost funding, and a Sony Pictures development executive confirmed that one of his films was set to be greenlit with contracts ready, only for the order to be rescinded after a mysterious call from higher up. 2 days later, Ryan Reynolds was in the same office pitching a new comedy. Allegedly, Ryan's strategy extends well beyond funding. His recent films are populated almost exclusively by actors from his trusted inner circle, and according to a casting director, he keeps a mental blacklist. If you've crossed either him or Blake, your name is removed not just from his projects, but quietly flagged in the broader industry through whispered concerns passed along to other producers. What makes this system particularly effective is how Ryan disguises it with charm and humor. His seemingly harmless late-night roasts are, according to a veteran publicist, actually coded signals, passive-aggressive career strikes cloaked as jokes that indicate who's fallen out of favor. After the Baldoni incident, Maximum Effort abruptly withdrew from a distribution deal with Wayfair Studios, Justin's own company. Officially, the split was due to scheduling conflicts, but leaked internal emails suggest the reality was more severe. Ryan made it clear, anyone who collaborates with Justin doesn't work with him or Blake. The result was swift and brutal. Projects collapsed, funding disappeared, actors dropped out, and colleagues who once enthusiastically returned Justin's calls suddenly went silent. As Justin's career began to unravel, Blake and Ryan were only tightening their grip on the industry. Their empire now extends far beyond traditional film. Maximum Effort isn't just producing Deadpool sequels. It's strategically acquiring rights to valuable intellectual property before it reaches peak interest, often undercutting major studios by using Ryan's celebrity leverage to negotiate deals below market rates, with creators lured in by the illusion of opportunity, only to have all rights, film, streaming, merchandising, locked down completely. Their influence spans industries. Ryan's investment in Mint Mobile gave him access to T-Mobile's executive leadership, and after the acquisition, Maximum Effort projects began receiving priority placement across streaming services, ensuring their content reached audiences while other creators struggled for visibility. Blake's approach mirrors Ryan's. Her Betty Buzz beverage line reportedly outmaneuvered competitors like Recess with surgical efficiency, and according to a beverage industry insider, Blake's team would often offer better terms to distributors shortly after those competitors pitched, suggesting they had inside information from within every major retailer. Their trademark filings further reveal the scope of their ambition, securing rights to multiple versions of their children's names, not only for branding and merchandise, but for financial services, educational tools, and tech ventures. Moves that, according to an intellectual property attorney, indicate long-term empire planning, not just celebrity merchandising. Even their philanthropy serves as strategic groundwork. After Blake made targeted political donations, she reportedly secured private meetings with lawmakers involved in shaping entertainment legislation, and shortly after, quiet policy shifts occurred that benefited their ventures while making operations more difficult for independent creators. The couple has also placed former employees in key roles across the industry, from talent agencies to studio boards, creating a silent network that feeds them competitive intelligence, allowing them to shut down potential threats before they can gain momentum. According to a senior studio executive, they have eyes and ears everywhere. Projects that might challenge theirs just disappear. And when subtle influence doesn't work, they go public, using their combined 87 million followers as a weapon. A single post from Blake can sway public sentiment, tank deals, or greenlight a stalled project, like when she casually tagged a studio head's charity and days later, that studio greenlit her next film. The fear they inspire is real. According to one veteran producer, nobody wants to cross them. They don't forget, and they're willing to wait years to retaliate. Just ask Justin Baldoni. What began as a promising collaboration turned into a silent war of reputational destruction, and in the end, only one side emerged intact. As Justin was methodically erased from future opportunities, Blake and Ryan were busy consolidating power, securing exclusive deals, buying influence, and locking down entire segments of the entertainment industry. So the next time you see one of their playful Instagram exchanges or watch them lovingly roast each other on a talk show, remember that behind those grins and viral quips is a highly sophisticated, meticulously engineered machine. Blake and Ryan aren't just actors, they're architects of a new Hollywood power structure, calculated, ruthless, and nearly untouchable. And the only real question left is, how many more careers will they quietly destroy on their way to the top?